Good afternoon, everyone. We are Group 9, and our thesis topic is emotion recognition in context. In this project, we tested whether frozen BLIP vision language features can help recognize human emotions from real world image using the EMOTIC dataset. Let's moving onward. Traditional emotion recognition mainly depends on facial expression. This works when the face is clear and visible, but in real world images, face can be small, blur, hidden, or turned away. In those cases, the surroundings context becomes very important. Humans understand emotions by looking at posture, activity, body language, and the scene. For example, the same facial expression can mean different things depending on whether the person is in a celebration, on a hospital, or an empty street. So our project focus on context aware emotion recognition where the whole image is used, not only the face. Next thing, our main aim was to test whether the frozen blip visual features can transfer to emotion classification. We asked three questions at first. So the first one is, can blip features help classify the top 12 emotion categories? Second, does the blip caption plus but method perform better than direct visual features? The third one, how do class imbalance and the small test set affects the result? Now I'll pass to Rochak.
Thank you, Aakash. And earlier, emotion recognition methods such as the original emotic approach used separate model streams. One stream focused on the person and another stream focused on the surrounding scene, which is useful, but it needs more design work and more model components. Our project uses a vision language model approach where BLIP can represent visual information from an image and we use it as an frozen feature extractor. The gaps we studied was pretty simple. How useful are frozen BLIP features for emotion recognition under realistic project constraints? And if you were to go to the next slide, where we use the EMOTIC dataset, which contains people in natural scenes. The original dataset has 26 emotion categories and is multi-level. For the project, we simplified it into a single level classification task, which after pre-processing we kept the 12 most frequent categories, giving 22,252 usable instances, and the final split was around 22,137 training images, 57 validation images, and 58 test images. A major issue was class imbalance, where classes had many examples while others had very few. This strongly affected the final model results. And to the next slide, which is frozen blip features, where our pipeline started with an input image. The image is passed through the frozen blip vision model, where we extracted a 768 dimensional CLS feature vector, and then we standardized the features and trained classifiers on top of them. The 5 tested models are naive Bayes, SVM, logistic regression, BLISTM, and BERT with blip captions. The important point is that blip was frozen. We did not fine-tune the blip backbone, and I'll pass on to Rudraksh, who will explain the experiment setup and results. Thank you.
The experiment was done in Google Colab using a 3-tier Tesla T4 GPU with 16 GB memory. Because of compute limits, we used a stratified sample of 3000 training images. For feature extraction, the final evaluation used the full test set of 58 images. The BIL STM was trained for 25 epochs and the BERT branch was trained for 5 epochs. We reported accuracy, weighted precision, weighted recall, and weighted F1 score. Now we'll proceed to slide number 8. So the slide number 8, this slide shows the final model comparison. The best model by weighted F1 was naive Bayes with 0.03298. The BIL STM came second with 0.2737. Logistic regression achieved 0.1820. SVM achieved 0.1080 and BERT plus BLIP captions achieved 0.0439. So direct BLIP visual features worked better than the caption-based BERT approach. Now we'll move to slide number 9. So there are three main findings. First, frozen BLIP features do contain some emotion-related signal, but the performance is still limited. Second, the caption-based method performed poorly because BLIP captions usually describe objects and actions, not emotions. Third, class imbalance strongly affected the results. Common classes had more influence than rare classes. Now, Aashish will cover the training behavior limitations, conclusion, and source code. Thank you.
Thank you, Rudraksh. This slide shows the wisdom training behavior. The training loss kept decreasing, which means the model was learning the training data, but the validation accuracy peaked around epoch 10 and then reduced again. This suggests overfitting. This is important because it shows that a more complex model is not always better. The BLSTEM had more capacity than the simpler models, but with only a limited training sample. It started learning the training examples too closely instead of generalizing well to unseen images. In future work, early stopping could help reduce this issue. Instead of using the final epoch, the model could save the best checkpoint based on validation performance. The main limitations were the small test set, class imbalance, single label simplification, and limited GPU resources. For future work, we suggest using the full multi-label emotic setup, applying LoRa, fine-tuning to BLIP, trying clip zero shot classification, using instruct BLIP for better emotion-aware captions, and improving imbalance handling. The most important future improvement would be returning to the original multi-label nature of emotic. In real life, one person can show more than one emotion at the same time, so a multi-label setup would be more realistic than forcing every image into only one label. Fine-tuning would also be useful in our project. BLIP was frozen, so it was not adapted to emotion recognition. A lightweight method such as LoRa could help the model to learn emotion-specific patterns without training the full model from scratch. To conclude, frozen BLIP features are useful, but they are not enough on their own for strong emotion recognition. Naive-based performed best with a weighted F1 score of 0.3298. The BERT plus BLIP caption model performed worst, showing that the normal image captions are not emotion-aware enough. Overall, the context matters, but vision language models need emotion-specific adaptation to perform better. The main lesson from our project is that using a powerful pre-trained model is not automatically enough. The model still needs the right task design, enough balanced data, and a training method that matches the emotion recognition problem. The final slide includes the code, notebook, README file, and requirements file in the GitHub repo, and citations are also included in GitHub. The dataset is stored in Google Drive because it is too large for GitHub. Thank you.